Welcome to the University of Kentucky's Backyard Streams program. During this webinar, we will answer the question, what is stream restoration? More importantly, we will discuss characteristics of stable and unstable streams, common goals and main components of stream restoration projects, and important overarching questions to ask ourselves when assessing streams. Right now, you may have a lot of questions regarding exactly what is stream restoration. Some of these questions may be, what causes a stream to look the way that it does? How do you know when a stream needs to be restored? What can you do to restore the functions of a stream? What are the functions of a stream? If you restore a stream, how do you ensure that your work is not undone? First, let's examine the definition of restoration. Restoration, as defined by the National Research Council in their 1992 book, Restoration of Aquatic Ecosystems, Science, Technology, and Public Policy, is the reestablishment of the structure and function of ecosystems as closely as possible to pre-disturbance conditions. The term structure refers to the shape of a stream, and it encompasses aspects such as dimension, pattern, profile, and habitat structures. Dimension refers to the cross-sectional shape of a stream, its width and depth, for instance. Pattern refers to the aerial view of a stream. For instance, how curvy is it? Profile refers to the stream's slope. Habitat structures can include those in the stream itself, such as veins and logs, as well as those on the stream side or riparian area, namely vegetation. The term function refers to the processes occurring in the stream. Unlike structural components, which are measured at points in time, functional processes are measured as rates, so over a period of time. Examples of stream functions include water and sediment transport, nutrient cycling, and energy transfer. The stream functional pyramid, from a function-based framework for stream assessment and restoration projects, provides a framework for examining stream functions. At the base of the pyramid lies hydrology. Hydrology refers to the transport of water from a watershed to its stream. Water is one of the main requirements for a stream to be a stream. Next is hydraulics. Hydraulics focuses on the transport of water and all things in water through the channel and its floodplain. Geomorphology focuses on how the earth is shaped by the movement of water, more specifically, how water movement shapes the channel. The fourth tier is physiochemical. Physiochemical refers to water quality aspects such as temperature, dissolved oxygen, and nutrients. The fifth and final tier is biology. The biological health of a stream is reflected in the types and number of species present in the stream. One important concept about the pyramid is that each tier builds upon itself. For instance, to achieve the top goal of biological health, all of the other tiers must function well. If one tier functions suboptimally, the above layers will also suffer. At this point, some questions you may be asking yourself are, what should a stream look like, or what should its structure or shape be? What types of function or processes are important in streams? What is meant by pre-disturbance conditions? Are we talking about pre-development of an urban area? Pre-agriculture, as streams were often pushed to the side of the field during agricultural practices? Pre-European settlers? Can streams in developed watersheds be restored? In other words, can such streams regain both structure and function, and if so, to what level? First, let's tackle the question of what should streams look like, or rather, what should a stream structure be? Well, there is no one-size-fits-all appearance. A number of factors such as geology, soils, topography or slope, and riparian vegetation play a role in determining what a stream will look like. Streams can have a wide range of widths, depths, slopes, and sinuosities or curviness, and have good structure. What we are looking for is stability. Over time, can the stream maintain its dimension or cross-section, its pattern or plan view, and its profile without aggrading, meaning it fills up with sediment, or degrading, meaning it downcuts or incises. Let's examine a stream at the University of Kentucky's Animal Research Center in Woodford County, Kentucky. In this picture, we do not see evidence of bank erosion. The banks are well vegetated, so it's unlikely the stream will widen, especially since the cattle are fenced off from the riparian area. The bed is comprised of bedrock, which you cannot see in this photo, so the stream will not easily downcut or incise. The stream is also well connected to its floodplain, an important concept that is covered in the fluvial geomorphology and stream bank erosion webinars. While physically stable, this stream lacks riparian vegetation that shades the stream and provides a source of carbon. Agricultural practices in the area may also impact water quality. Now let's look at this picture of Kane Run, which is a stream that flows through Fayette and Scott counties in Kentucky. Unlike the stream in the previous slide, this section of Kane Run is considerably unstable. The stream is incised, meaning the channel bed has downcut. The debris or poles anchored in concrete were placed along the outside of a meander bend to slow down erosion of the banks. As seen by the man in the photos, the stream banks are steep, 7 to 8 feet tall. The stream has access to its floodplain only during very large events, which increases shear stress, which is the force exerted by water on the bed and banks, and thus promotes erosion. Now let's look at a graphical representation of a stable stream. One very important characteristic of a stable stream is its connection to its floodplain. Flows in this stream will frequently exit the banks, denoted by the brown line, and spread out onto the floodplain, denoted by the grass and trees. The floodplain essentially functions as a relief valve for the stream. Before shear stresses reach a point where they cause erosion, flows leave the confines of the stream banks and spread out over the floodplain. Another important characteristic is the influence of riparian vegetation. The depth of roots and the density of those roots help protect stream banks. The rooting depth of riparian vegetation along stable streams extends most, if not all, of the depth of the stream banks. And if the roots are dense, they will hold the soil of the stream banks more tightly in place. Lastly, note the height of the water table with respect to the ground surface. The water table is represented by the dashed dot blue line. Since the stream acts like a drain, the elevation of the stream bed will largely control the depth of the water table. When the water table is close to the surface, as in this schematic, wetlands, vernal ponds, and other ecologically diverse features are likely to be part of the landscape. Or if they are not present, they can be constructed in the floodplain. Right away, you should notice some differences between this stream and the one in the previous slide. This stream is incised, meaning it is not connected to its floodplain except during rare, large storm events. It is also much larger, meaning it is wider and deeper than the stream in the previous slide. Because it is deeper, the forces exerted on the stream banks are greater, meaning that the stream banks and bed material can be transported more easily. Because of this, the stream will continue to erode. How about the depth of the roots with respect to the height of the banks? Since the banks are so tall, the roots will only be able to protect a portion of the banks. This stream's banks only have grasses which offer limited protection. Also note the depth of the water table with respect to vegetation. The riparian vegetation does not have a good connection to the water table. This can affect the type of riparian vegetation present. It can also impact the ecology, as any groundwater wetlands in the floodplain will be drained. This will negatively impact creatures like salamanders and frogs, which need these wetter habitats. Now we need to answer the question of, what do streams do? Or put another way, what functions do streams perform? Streams perform 5 main functions. They transport water, transport sediment, dissipate energy, provide aquatic habitat, and support terrestrial habitat. Streams receive surface water inputs through precipitation and runoff. Except for ephemeral streams, which flow only in response to precipitation events, streams also receive water inputs from groundwater. Streams convey this water from smaller drainage areas to larger ones. Sediment is applied to streams from overland flows, colluvium, and eroding stream banks. Streams move the sediment from smaller watersheds to larger ones. The ability of streams to move the sediment is strongly linked to the amount and size of sediment that streams receive, as well as their shape and structure. The roughness of a stream, which is a function of its bed and bank materials, as well as vegetation, helps to dissipate energy. This energy dissipation helps temper in-stream velocities. Stream meanders and heterogeneous bed features such as riffles and pools also reduce energy. Floodplains, which are generally rough due to the riparian vegetation, also help to dissipate energy. As seen in this photo, streams provide aquatic habitat. Streams are obviously important to fish, but streams also are vital to macroinvertebrates and aquatic plants. Several terrestrial species, from birds to deer to raccoons to beavers, use streams as a drinking water source, a food source, and even a home. When we talk about stream restoration, we are talking about restoring the functions of streams. Recall those 5 functions are transport water, transport sediment, dissipate energy, provide aquatic habitat, and support terrestrial habitat. To restore these functions, we will start with the physical components of a stream, its structure. But in doing this, we must also pay careful attention to water quality, habitat, and societal needs. If a stream has issues with water quality, we will want to consider methods to improve in-stream water quality as well as the quality of runoff before it reaches the stream. What habitat features can we include? With regards to societal needs, how will people use the stream? Is transportation a concern? What about recreation? How about aesthetics? Before starting a stream restoration project, or most any project for that matter, we need to walk the site and ask ourselves 4 questions. First, what caused the problem? Was there a change in upstream land use that increased the amount of discharge or sediment supplied to the stream? Examples include urbanization, timber harvesting, livestock grazing, and dam construction. Was the riparian vegetation removed by humans or livestock? Removal of riparian vegetation can accelerate stream bank erosion and thus the sediment supply to downstream reaches. What about a head cut? A head cut is an abrupt vertical drop in the stream bed. Head cuts resemble small waterfalls or cliffs. Secondly, how did the stream respond? Did the channel become incised? Did the channel become aggraded, meaning it filled in with sediment? Did the channel widen? Did bed material become finer? Third, can the problem be fixed? The level of complexity associated with stream restoration projects can differ widely. For example, in urban environments, a stream may require access to a wider floodplain. However, the presence of homes limits the floodplain extent. Consideration should be given to economic and societal constraints. Resources are not unlimited. What is the project budget? What is acceptable to landowners, neighbors, and permitting agencies? Fourth, if the problem is fixed, how do you prevent it from returning? Or to put another way, how do you ensure your investment is protected? Will the landowners alongside the stream sign a conservation easement that will permanently protect the stream in the riparian area? If livestock are present, will they be fenced out? Is there concern about future upstream land use changes or increased development? Now let's apply the 4 key questions to Kane Run, the stream you see in this photo. What caused the problem? The headwaters of Kane Run are in a highly urban area of Lexington, Kentucky. As the amount of impervious area increased substantially over the years, the stream experienced a flashier hydrology. Rainfall could not soak into the ground, but instead was directed to stormwater inlets and pipes, which carried runoff to Kane Run and its tributaries. Times of concentration, the time it takes for runoff from the most distant parts of the watershed to reach the stream, decreased, while peak discharges and volumes increased. And since less rainfall was infiltrated, base flow decreased. Also at work was the straightening of sections of Kane Run and its tributaries in urban and agricultural areas. By straightening a stream, the slope is increased. Increasing slope increases the shear stress on the bed and banks, thus increasing erosion. We examined this phenomenon in the Fluvial Geomorphology webinar. Second, how did the stream respond? The stream bed and banks eroded, causing the channel to widen and in size. Water quality in the stream was negatively impacted by the urbanization. Pathogen levels, nutrient levels, and temperatures increased due to leaks from sanitary sewers, fertilizer applications, pet waste, parking lot runoff, and the like. Aquatic habitat in many areas consists primarily of tolerant species. Third, can the problem be fixed? If the sources of water quality impairment are addressed, it is likely that stream restoration will have some success. Consideration must also be given to utilities, public safety, and costs, among other things. Fourth, any restoration work will require protection using a conservation easement or the like. Consideration must also be given to future growth in watersheds, invasive species, and the like. After answering the 4 key questions, we need to ask ourselves what level of restoration, if any, is warranted. One option that we always want to consider in stream restoration projects, as well as any other type of project, is the option to do nothing. In considering this option, we need to determine if recovery is possible without our intervention. Will the stream self-heal in an acceptable amount of time? For example, what if the stream is starting to show minor signs of erosion largely due to lack of vegetation? In this case, we want to reestablish a riparian vegetation and let the stream recover on its own. Think of this like a rubber band. The impact stretches the rubber band, but the recovery is quick. In other cases, recovery may be somewhat slow and some help may be needed. For example, a stream may be experiencing more substantial bank erosion in localized areas, with other reaches showing little to no bank erosion. In such cases, we may be interested in a partial intervention strategy whereby we only fix problem areas. Maybe we can use bioengineering techniques or in-stream structures to help the banks heal. Think of this like a broken leg. Recovery can be slow and may require some intervention. In some cases, centuries may be required before recovery is realized, if it is realized at all. Examples include straightened and hardened urban streams and buried streams such as in urban environments and where valley fills are used in mining. Think of this like Humpty Dumpty. Recovery will require intervention if it is to happen at all. While each stream restoration project has its own unique characteristics, most share the same main components. 1. Reconstruction of the stream's morphology or dimension, pattern, and profile. 2. Reconnection of the stream to its floodplain. 3. The use of in-stream structures for grade control, stream bank protection, habitat creation, and water quality improvement. 4. Stabilization of the stream banks so that excessive erosion does not occur. This can be done through the creation of low bank heights, banks with gentle slopes, use of riparian vegetation, and the use of erosion control matting. 5. Establishment of riparian corridor vegetation for both stream bank stability as well as habitat creation and enhancement. 6. Habitat enhancement features include not just those in the stream, but also those in the riparian area. Features such as vernal ponds are great habitat for salamanders and frogs. Consideration should also be given to aquatic and terrestrial species The design and implementation of a stream restoration project is complex. Trained engineers, hydrologists, biologists, and other technical professionals are necessary to design and construct stream restoration projects. Stream restoration projects must always require permits from federal, state, and local agencies. These permits are required before construction can begin. The permitting process can take several months, so plan accordingly. Need funding for a project? Seek out opportunities at the local, state, and federal levels. A good place to start is by examining the funding sources of other nearby stream restoration projects. Thank you for completing this webinar on stream restoration. To learn more about stream restoration, check out the publications and additional information sections. For additional information on backyard streams, visit www.uky.edu/BAE/backyardstreams.